Hey guys, it's Finch here. I'm going to be bringing you guys my black and white games from the championship, just because I decided that people have been giving a bit more positive feedback to black white stuff than like SM or even the SS stuff posted last night. But I think I'm also going to try and do some more laddering stuff. I'm just trying to build some teams and kind of mess around and feel what's fun for me, because obviously it's still a new meta game, and I've been dealing with so much cheering stuff that I haven't actually had the chance to team build a ton. I've been using kind of ideas from other people in my own kind of form, if you will, and my games from the Money Tour, which are my main real games. Unfortunately, I got really unlucky against both Solwind and Dice in pretty stupid ways, like losing to Quick Claw being glitched against Solwind, and then all sorts of shit against Dice. But that is what it is. I'm definitely not the most enthusiastic about that from a pure gameplay standpoint, but I am excited to see where the gen goes and eventually get into it a bit more. Maybe I get a chance to an SPL. Maybe I'll be in black white. Either way, that'll be fun. But here I want to give you guys the games from the Black and White Global Championship. You guys already saw the finals, so I'm not going to give you my series against Ryza. However, I will give you my series against Pasho, my series against Dr. Keitano 93, and Zokuru. So I got all the replays pulled up here. Results are pretty much spoiled for all these games, I suppose. But well, I win the series. I don't know which games I win yet, but I'm gonna try and give you guys a bit of inside perspective. I've got about an hour before I have to play for lower tier Premier League, whatever it is called, and PU game against Rexus, I believe. So that's cool. But anyway, it's gonna be interesting to see how these games. Like I could kind of give my analysis on these games, but so round one, I dropped Pasho, which is funny considering that we played in finals of this intro last year when I won 2-0. That was actually the birth of Facade Breloom, that series. I created the Facade variant of it, and it's been used a lot ever since then. So I take credit for that, and that's how I won game two, the deciding game of that set. So it was cool. Anyway, with that said, me against Pasho round one, definitely a kind of highlight matchup, but unfortunately, it's been a pretty rough. This happened November 29th, and the last couple weeks in November were really rough for me. So I wasn't really in my game. I kind of limped out of Smog Tour against McMegan. I mean, albeit I should have won the second game probably, but I just didn't play my best. Going through a lot of pressure in real life between job interviews stuff, and I'm actually gonna get into that more later. It doesn't really matter, but I definitely didn't play the first game my best. Probably not the second game either, honestly. And I'm gonna hopefully be able to outline my mistakes and hopefully show that there are ways around these and better ways to approach these situations. And I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. More so, I'm trying to show how even players that have been playing this tier for now 8 years, like myself, can improve. There's no real ceiling in Pokemon. I feel you can keep getting better and better and better. And I definitely don't think I'm one of the best players in the world, but I think I'm considered a very good to great player. But yet I know there's so much room for me to improve. So maybe some less experienced players can pick up on those things and help improve themselves. And I think that would be a really cool dynamic. I love helping people. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into this. So right off the bat, I look at this matchup and I think it's problematic because he has the Jirachi, which is really annoying to my Rio Nicholas plus Ladio score. For those of you that don't know this team, it's a team I've used before. It's Trick Room, Rio Nicholas, Trick Room Recover. It's actually the team that Zoroark used against Solwind on last FPL. I built it. I just rearranged the EVs and the cold Pokemon. But, yeah, so right off the bat, I know Jirachi is annoying, and I can't take advantage of it that much with Ferrothorn because he's a Magnezone. So, right off the bat, I know that I'm going to need my Rotom Wash to do a ton of work because it can cripple everything. So, for example, if I burn the Jirachi, then I'm in good shape suddenly. Or if I get Spikes up in the long haul, then I'm in good shape. However, if he keeps Jirachi intact, well, and he breaks through me with the ground types, and that can easily be a hard game for me. So I still just match up slightly in Pasha's favor because Jirachi plus Magnezone Core, and he just with the ground type pressuring me, but I have outs. Definitely wasn't what I expected from him, though. All the props to him for that. So right off the bat, I'm looking at his team, and I'm thinking, yeah, Rotom is pretty free. Nothing can kill it in one hit. Latios Straco never kills in one hit. And it has to be like Dragon Gem, Outrage from Chomp, and it's definitely not that, and it's definitely not going to be going for that turn one either. So, yeah, I feel like Rotom W and pretty much Whisping against anything is pretty safe. As for him, I'm expecting him to lead with Ferrothorn just because it gets spikes up against pretty much anything off the bat. So we'll wait and see. He does lead with Ferrothorn, I lead with Rotom, and right off the bat, I believe I go for Wisp, and I think he gets a knockoff. No, he's going to go for Rocks. Okay. So when he went for Rocks, I knew that it wasn't even Rock Jirachi, so it was probably like a full-on Wish set. So I don't think Pasha is as fond of the offensive kind of Jirachi, and that made it even more annoying for me, knowing that the longevity was there. So I know I had to get spikes up quickly. And he went to Magnezone, and I went for that first layer of spikes, knowing, okay, I should be able to get 2 layers of spikes up at least. Oh, wait, no, this is the Wordy Seed team. I'm sorry, I forgot I made it Wordy Seeds. That let me switch out, which was cool. And now I get to Thunderbolt off here. So at this point, I know I'm just going to go on the Pain Split those off, as I should be slower. Which is cool, because now he doesn't really have a ton to take Draco besides Jirachi, so I could force those switch patterns. He went for a Thunderbolt here. I believe I'm Superpower on this, which let me get the kill. The thing is that because he's modest in Power Fire, and he got spikes up, my Ferrothorn can only really come in on his Ferrothorn or Jirachi, maybe Jirachi, depending on the set. Anyway, he went to his Landers here, and I know that my safe switch in, unfortunately, is already chipped in the Rotom W, but I kind of have to go to it. I considered foddering the Ferrothorn, but I didn't want to, and I think in hindsight that might have been better to see this potentially Pain Splitting up back again. Anyway, he goes to Garchomp, and I just go to Landorus. He goes for Substitute here, and I figure, okay, he's probably not going to Swords and Substance these leftovers. I'm just going to get an HP Ice in, and I do that. I break the sub, and now he's not in range, but he only does so little. So he switches out to Jirachi as I go for Hidden Power. And that puts me in an awkward position because my switch-ins to this are already, both of them are weakened. I go to Ferrothorn here, and he goes Landorus, and it's a really nice play by him. That double switch. I wanted to HP Ice again so badly, but I knew that if he stayed and went for Body Slam and it got me, I was pretty much dead in the water, so I didn't want to risk that. So now he got rid of the Ferrothorn, so all of a sudden sacking it before looked a lot better. So I make a nice play here, and I predict him to be Protect, and he is just that. So I get the -1 attack, so I should live Body Slam no matter what, and get a Pain Split off on anything. However, he gets a crit on the Body Slam. And that is devastating. So if I get all the way back up to full, then I can check Landorus, and this is weakened, so I get a Wisp off the following turn. And all of a sudden, it's opened up for Reuniclus, maybe, but I think he still had a decent chance. But yeah, that sucked. And I mean, I was in already a pretty shitty mood, so that just kind of derailed me. That was kind of demoralizing. And then I just go for the Earthquake and the Latios to switch. I got Tyranitar here. I think he just goes for Surf and knocks me out in 2. No, he switched Landorus to add insult to injury. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I just forfeit. I had no way of winning. Jirachi was not combined, so I couldn't even cheese his way through. So yeah, I mean, I give in at that point, knowing full well that the Jirachi beat both of these two, and Pharaoh beat the Latios, and both ground types got a kill pretty much every time they came in, and I couldn't lock in anything safely with this being Protect, Pharaoh being healthy, so I just gave in. So 1-0, Pasha's winning. Definitely an unfortunate crit there. I think I would have had a decent chance, but you'll see that I have no way to complain. So game 2's here. Bit of a new team for me. I was trying to build with the Starmie on Sand type of stuff, just because I feel like it was a cool kind of idea that DICE and then ABR used over the past year. Having a spinner that's not drill kind of opens up different alleys. It also is something else that kind of has speed, which is cool, and it could threaten bulky waters with Toxic or Thunder Wave if you have that, or it could go for the Reflect type stuff so it can't get trapped by Pursuit. A lot of options there. Drill just didn't really fit well into this. I wanted another Water Resist. And yeah, I really like this team I have here. It's pretty threatening, and the thing is that Pasho is using a team that's actually kind of really annoying for me. Especially with the Gastrodon. Gastrodon does really well against us. There's Force and Amoonguss, and Amoonguss kind of is whatever. Once Latios slept, or whatever it is, slept Tar, he slept, whatever it may be, then he just kind of goes all day to his potentially Shed Shell Skarmory. If not, then his Reuniclus against me. And I know Pasho, this is definitely a Reuniclus that either has Focus Blast or Acid Armor, Rocky Helmet, so Tar can't really beat it, so not really a huge fan of this matchup, honestly. Looking at things I can do, though, depending on the sets of my ground types, I actually forget if this is a variant with Scarf Chomp or Scarf Lando, which kind of complicates things. We'll see as the game goes on, I suppose. depending on which variant is which, I should be able to poke some holes in it with that plus Magnezone, especially if it's not Shed Soul Skarmy. If it's Shed Soul Skarmy, though, I'm dead in the water, so we'll have to wait and see. So, anyway, I lead Amoonguss, just trying to get a Spore off. He goes Latios on a Spore. Now he goes Gastrodon, which is a ballsy play. I should have just Giga Drained, but he goes Tar. I greedily get up rocks to see Toxics. Was that my best play? Probably not. But I didn't want to risk taking the burn on Among Us at that point because Gastron long haul and rocks I knew were going to be important to try and wear down the potential Skarmory if it was Shed Shell. And I was kind of fearing that at the start a bit more than I should have. But I think I shouldn't have bothered for that. Anyway, he went for Acid Army here. As I go Chomp, figuring, okay, if it's Calm, I can break it. But then it's clear that he's Acid Armor. And I'm Swords Dance Yachi, I think, on this. So I just Swords Dance up with it. Is it Acid Armor? So he gets like a comment here, and now all of a sudden I just have to start fishing for crits. You see him doing 38, so like hopefully he just keeps recovering around. Side Shock does just a little over half, which is kind of annoying, but then I get the crit. He should have just won the game. No real buts about that. Oh yeah, I'm Swords Dance Yachi Protect, because Protect plus Magnezone and Pursuit is really cool. So I guess it just kind of wins from here. I mean, it was a stupid game. As you can see, though, he is Shed Shell. So without the luck, there's no way I win this matchup. I mean, it's just over, period. Now, albeit I had a handful of chances to crit, but not enough for it to be odds unfavorable, and certainly not enough for that to be fair to Pasha. I mean, he should have just won the game. Series should have been over. Albeit, he took away my chance in game one, but it was just a chance. This was a guarantee for him, so here I am, luckily, greedily, finding my way, barely limping into a game three. Um, Sorry, I'm just checking my phone for a second. Unprofessional, I know, but it's on Snapchat. Okay, so game three, I load up the drag mag, just figuring, okay, it looks like he's using a little more stuff on the kind of balance end. Nothing like too offensive with a lot of revenge killers, and nothing that could like kind of cockblock me using dragon. So therefore, I was like, you know what, we're going with my classic drag mag from World Cup. But with Latios over Starmix, I feel like that's just better nowadays. And he loads up Chansey Tornadus Rain, which is very favorable for me, assuming Jolson doesn't go too bonkers and I trap the Ferrothorn early enough. So, yeah, because then the Dragon's pretty much both first. So I was like, yeah, this is good. So, always lead with Jirachi with this team pretty much. It's Shuckaberry, it has Stealth Rock, and on top of that, it also can U-turn to Mag against Steals, which is huge. And we're going to see just that happen start the game off. Now, always, if it's neutral weather or sand, you Hidden Power Fire first, because that catches the potential Worry Seed, and it also does damage, gives you a chance to crit, so that Sunny Day doesn't like give him a free turn. And unfortunately, I get that crit here, which is really lame for Pasha because he doesn't get spikes. I go to Kieran Black. I probably should have just went Rachi, but I figured Outrage automatically picks a kill period. And I do just that, but Politoed hangs on. I'm getting it's like max bolt, and then he protects, so he resets the outrage counter. Do I stay in and kill it? I don't think I do. Yeah, I think I go zone to try and like cheese Sunny Day. Um, yeah, I get Sunny Day up. Now I think I force Enchancy here. Do I go jump? Yeah. Do I dance up here? I sub up. Oh god, yeah. And now this is but it's Scarf Jellison, which is like what? I don't know what I'm expecting here. Am I Yachi? No, I'm not Yachi on this team. I think I'm just Alec Berry. But now I get my rocks up, which is cool. Chansey is low key annoying with rocks up to this team, but Latios is trick, so that's helpful. Here I do get the trick off, and that pretty much is game. I go Chomp here, knowing full well that he could just seismic toss me and I live 2. And now I sword stance hoping that maybe he does that again. He's not going to risk going to Joss and taking big damage, Troy taking big damage. And I get that, I get the speed boost, and now the game ends. Dragon Claw takes that out, which might have been Tailwind, but I don't think he would have went to it straight off. He should have won the set in the first 2, really. But hey, I got lucky. I got a little unlucky game 1. I got really lucky in the next 2. I don't think it mattered as much this matchup. Once Ferrothorn would died so young, albeit to the crit, so you could have gotten spikes up, which would have killed like the Garchomp, for example. But the Dragonite was still in the back. Jerem was still in the back. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think I would have lost this game, especially with Magdalene Health, who'd like eat any one hit from Jellicent if need be. Once chance he got tricked especially, but hey, it worked out in my favor. So that was 1 series down. My next series against Dr. Cayetano, 93. So I have a bit of a backstory with this guy. We played in a million smaller tours, and I feel like we're actually pretty even so far. He's a surprisingly crafty player. I mean, like, this guy uses weird shit, and it works out more often than most people use weird shit. But also, he just finds ways by making very aggressive plays earlier on in games to claw into leads when he really has no business doing so. So it's really cool. I love playing against him because of that. But with that said, I decided to use the same team game 1 this series as these last series, just because I felt like offensive Trick Room Nicholas did a number to most of his teams. Just from looking at a couple of replays, didn't fall and scout him, but yeah. This was December 4th too, so this was like the middle of my finals week. I like was so happy to play this series because I was just dying from finals in real life. Like I needed something like on my mind, and this series was like perfect time for that, thankfully. But yeah, I see Breloom right off the bat. I'm like, okay, Breloom's always gonna find a way to be annoying, and newsflash, it will be if we ban sleep too, which is fucking great. But yeah. I also see that if Slowbro dies young, or I get hazards up, or I cripple Slowbro, then Rio Nicholas should be able to win the game. Especially if Victini. Victini's going to die young too. I think it's final game for Victini. Like dual Scarf with a Scarf ground in final game. I usually use offense against him, so yeah. Anyway. He's Victini, I lead Lando. He does get the final gambit off, so it's 5-5 right off the bat. Honestly, not the worst trade for me, definitely not the best. I go Rotom, which is like a for real lead. And now I trade Wisp for Rocks. I really wanted to Wisp again here, but I believe I'm a pussy, and I go for Hydro Pump, and it ends up working out because he doesn't go Breloom because he's not a piece of shit. Do I Hydro once more? No, now he goes Breloom, and I Hydro, but I miss. Not a big deal though. He is Poison Heal, so I definitely had investment, and Sandra feels him quicker, so I just Volt Switch out there to Latios, knowing full well he can't trap me in that turn. He gets the Facade off, and I'm like, shit, that is not good. I am able to kill the Tar, though, which is nice, considering that now he can't trap me. However, I only can really live one more rock. That Facade did a number to me, so less ideal there. He's going to go for U-turn with what seems to be a Scarf Landorus there. You go to Breloom. I believe I am Wordy Seed, as I mentioned before. So maybe I use that here, predicting a Swords Dance or a Spore. Yeah, so I eat a Sleep Turn there. I don't want to risk Gladios to that. I'm going to pause for a second. Sorry. Alright, we're back. So I let it eat the Spore, knowing full well that if this is Swords Dance Drain Punch, which it could be bulk up. It could just not be Drain Punch. Could be Drain Punch with no setup moves. I don't know. I eat 2 of them specifically. I eat +2 Drain Punch as well, and just poison damage racked up every turn. And I don't really need this besides maybe like being a fodder otherwise. So therefore, I decided my play was to stay in here. And just kind of wait to wake up and get the Worry Seed off. Because unless he gets the max sleep, I should be able to do that, and that'll chip it, which will make it a bit less of a nuisance, specifically for like switching in like a Focus Blast from like trying to hit Drill with Offense Trick Room or Nicholas or dying to a Dragon Pulse. So I could at least get chip on multiple things with Latios. But I mean, it looked like it was an uphill battle from this point against Bloom plus Drill. But let's see. He goes for Swords Dance, and I get the early wake, which is humongous because he gets damage off the bat. So he's down to like 76. Yep. He goes for Drain Punch. As you see, I live comfortably. Sure, he gets healed up to fall, but I get a layer of spikes up, and then he takes a ton of damage in return. And just to kill me, he has to take even more. So he's down at 57, but then he takes Sand down to 50, then he takes Poison down to 20. Now I go Latios, and I try to claim my free kill, and he fires off slow, bro. At the time, I think that for him, that's a good, justifiable fire, because he doesn't know it wall with my Ray Nicholas at all. He probably thinks I'm Calm Mind, simply because Soulwind used the same thing with Calm Mind. Then he goes to Breloom, though, and I don't get that. So I'm starting to think that maybe that Landorus isn't Scarf. Maybe it's Gravity, because he's got Extra Drill as well. And it turns out to be just that. So all of a sudden, sure, I was able to get those kills. But he's got Gravity, so he can't crit me. And now I have to just hit a Focus Blast. But Gravity actually helped me. Yeah, and I just win the game pretty much. So him thinking that I was Calm Mind or Nicholas pretty much won me the game. He played well up to that point, but then just kind of set up my win unironically. And that just, he didn't know. I mean, it was pretty much that simple. So game one ended up falling in my favor. It was really close, though. Game two, we both bring rain. So that's cool. This is my World Cup reign against Bro Kappa, a game where he got really, really lucky against me and kind of was an asshole afterwards, but whatever. One of my favorite teams, though. My only Torn Rain I'll ever use pretty much nowadays. It's just Stealth Rock, Lum, Jump to help lead off the games against things like against like Rotom W because they can't waste turn one because you get Lum. Yeah, Scarflottie, mixed knockoff Taunt Tornadus, which is really cool against all sorts of teams. Kind of neutralizes the matchup spectrum a bit because well, like Specs would be better in this matchup, for example. If you just spam Hurricane against like Sun or against Reinstall. Knockoff is huge. Taunt is huge. So yeah, this team with Chomp and that Torn set really does well across the board, which for a Rain is pretty unique, I'd say. And then just normal fillers, Pharaoh, Tentacle, and he's got kind of an interesting Kieran Black Rain. So let's wait and see how that goes. I think we both pick pretty generic leads. Yeah, I lead Latios. I think I should lead Politoed, honestly. He led Politoed, and then he uses Pharaoh Thorns. Now he's trying to add me pretty much. But he switches out to Kieran Black, predicting a Hypnosis, and I just Scald. Now I Protect. He's outraging, so I'm like, okay. You take me, and then I take you, and then you get your Ferrothorn in for free, and I'm fine being behind one Stealth Rock or Spike Layer. And that's pretty much how the game starts. So he's essentially up Stealth Rock, and I get my Torn in for free. So all of a sudden, that Stealth Rock deficit is now turning into a Pokemon minus Stealth Rock lead for me as he fires a Politoed Tornadus, but now he gets Thunderous in. So we're pretty much trading off the bat, which is a sign of real Rain offense game. As you can see, he gets the Thunder off there, and that's going to be 4-4. He has Rocks up, but now he goes Pharaoh on my Draco, and all of a sudden it feels like he's got a little lead. But I make a play here going Guard Chomp instead of, say, Pharaoh, which works out well because he was sort of mid-ground with Thunderous. Now he goes Landorus here, and I think I just go for Outrage to lock myself into that to try and get the kill. But he's Scarf, so all of a sudden he's going to get to kill me because I get a 3-turn Outrage. And now I'm down a Pokemon, and he has Rocks up, so this is looking kind of bleak for me. But I know very well that my Ferrothorn can do work. As I set up spikes rather against this. He Scalds. If this burns, I'm fucked. But it doesn't, so I get to whip off. Okay, so now I'm really playing with fire, or water rather. I need to get this taken out without taking a burn to be in a good position. If it does burn me, but I still take it out handily, then I should still be in a winnable position with Latios, especially if I knock the Ferrothorn. He goes for Protect here. I go for Whip again, just knowing full well that A, there's a chance I can kill it anyway, and B, if he tries to fuck around, I don't want to give him like multiple chances to Scald me. And he scalds there, he crits, he doesn't burn. And thank God I take the tentacle out essentially for 17% health. And all of a sudden, I'm back in the driver's seat. I had an insult injury for him. He misses that focus blast, which is unfortunate. He goes Ferrothorn here, takes a Draco, and now here's a really interesting turn. So takes 26% spikes, and I'm like, you know what? For him to win the game, he doesn't want Pharaoh on Pharaoh because I just knock him. So he wants to get the Thundy back in on Pharaoh to try and get an agility up or get a focus off and then try and sweep me. So I make a really nice play here in my eyes, and I go for a double Draco, which puts this in range for Pharaoh Thorn, potentially a bit later, not quite, or Scald from Tentacruel. And then I just Draco again, and he stays in, which is even better for me. Because now I just have to hit a Draco Meteor. And unless he's Rock Polished Landorus, I win the game. And just like that, I hit it. That HP is 65, really is max modest. He goes Ferrothorn, which is fine. I go to my own Ferrothorn. It's a bit complicated here because I could lose to Scarf Earthquake, but I get that knockoff, and that's huge. He goes for Power Whip, just trying to catch my Tentacle, I guess. Or maybe die off himself. Now I go Tentacle here, knowing full well I can't let Roxy up as this dies. And he goes for the Whip, which is smart. I go for the spin right off the bat, and I think he just kills me. And he goes for Leech, and that makes this really complicated because I can't lose to Earthquake. That would be bad. So I Scald here. No burn. He rocks. And he's getting health each turn. I go for Scald again, knowing full well that he's not going to kill me. But then he does. And I'm like, oh shit. So I can't let the Landers come in. But I also have the benefit of worry seating him. Which means that if I were to attack him, then he couldn't hurt me. So now I'm just going to spend this time setting up spikes as he tries to damage me. But thankfully, since I get leftovers, there's no way I could lose to Earthquake crit. Or, more importantly, Superpower doesn't always kill me from here, especially if it's more of a defensive scarf. I'm like, okay, please don't be Superpower, please don't be Superpower. And then he says, need a crit or a miss. And I hit the whip, which is huge. I was making nervous, didn't get crit, didn't have Superpower, so I was able to win that game, and now I'm on to the semifinals against Zokuru. I'm going to pause once more, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're back. So now I've got my semifinal series, which is the last series I'll show you guys because I narrated the series against Ryza for finals yesterday. Yeah, I know it's a bit backwards, sorry about that. But against Zokuru, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Zokuru just kind of sounds like the natural way to say it, but feel free to correct me in the comments if it's like Zakuru or Zokuro. I don't know. It sounded out, and it sounds like Zokuru, so we're going with that. Anyway, this guy historically is kind of a stallier player. In my eyes, he's always been kind of okay, but not great. But in Black-White, he finds reasons to use things that are pretty bad. Like, he had Scarf Heatran team he's been using forever, which just isn't viable. Like, I'm sorry, Scarf Heatran is garbage in Black-White. This time around, he's got a Sableye, which is, I guess, kind of okay. Not really. I sucks in pretty much every matchup. Besides like Alakazam and Psychic Focus or Nicholas. It's so frail for something that wants to be bulky. And on top of that, he's got 1, 2, 3 Spike vulnerables with no way of stopping Spikes from getting up. Which isn't great. Plus 2 Toxic Spikes vulnerable. Not as bad, but still, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this team composition against him. I feel like it faults quite a few things. But anyway, I'm just bringing the same Chomp Rain. So we'll get right into it. I figure he's probably going to lead Pharaoh or Landorus. So I lead Chomp, just normal. I figure you probably get pressure off on shit. I get Rocks. He goes for Leech, interestingly enough, turn 1. And I think that I use opportunity to get torn in, just try and break early. And he gets Protect on Hurricane. I think I should have Superpowered here, but I was scared of Gyro Ball. So I just went for a Hurricane myself. I went for Taunt. Oh, okay, interesting. So I'm like, okay, so if I Superpower, it's definitely Chople Berry. So I'm just gonna knock here. So if I Superpower, I could die like a Crush. But of course he freezes me. So I would have went for Hurricane the following turn, for the record, figuring he'd predict the Superpower. But he froze me, so now I'm just down a Pokemon for nothing. But he goes to Sableye, which if Sableye is your Scald switching on turn 7 against the rain team, then odds are your team is poorly constructed. Exhibit A. Um, I'm going to get a Toxic off on it, which is nice. And he's going to realize that his Wisp was essentially an acting futility, is I happen to have Refresh, as you see. So, yeah. Now he goes Pharaoh, I Scald, and if I get a burn, then I'm in fine position. So suddenly, well, freeze is much likelier than the burn. Much less likely than the burn. I get the burn, and I am completely fine with my position this game. If he wants to trade spikes when I have a spinner and his spin blocker is losing to my spinner 1v1, be my guest. I'll get my spike up in peace, and now I have chip on his entire team, essentially. He goes Tar, and then he goes Lando on a double. I go Polytoad. I don't really understand why Landorus was a double there, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Maybe Rick could chomp. I protect EQ Turnlocks. Pharaoh is going to be taking a ton from hazards, then Scald, then Burn. So yeah, as I said, the longevity of this isn't great. In fact, seeing as he only has 2 spikes, I'll probably want to get a third. I just Scald again correctly, as he doesn't go for like a knockoff or a Leech Seed or a Power Whip, which would have just bounced off anyway, because it's burnt. And I get to 2 kill from there. So now I'm kind of winning, but kind of just 5-5. Latios is the biggest threat to me at this point. I just go for Protect, and I should live Draco from here almost like 90% of the time. I'm EV to live from Fall, so yeah. But I go Ferrothorn. Oh, yeah. I wanted to preserve that because Scald was so good against his team. And it turned out that he's like Life Orb, Hidden Power Fire, which, let me tell you, as stupid as that set is in the current metagame, with like Death Tar being all over the place, if you're ever going to use it, you're going to want to use it on a sand team that's won by spikes like this. So I guess some props to him for being aware. The thing is that the follow-up just bumped into my tentacle for like 6%. I don't know what I'm saying. And now I know I live Life Orb Draco. I specs to be a roll, but I live Life Orb, so I just go for spin. He goes Sableye, which is fine with me. Because A, rains up, so my Scald's going to do a ton, and B, he's poisoned, so he can't really recover shit off. I do 38. Yeah, just a little less than Politoad. And on top of this, Burn doesn't actually do damage to me, because I just recovered off each turn. So, essentially, if he stops recovering, then I kill him, and I live anything besides Landorus Earthquake from Fall, so I can get a spin-off. If he goes Landorus Earthquake, locks in the Earthquake, then I get free Latios, and his Steel type is dead, and his Tar is weakened. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much checkbaited him into at least being in a 1-for-1 / favorable sequence for myself. Now, he goes Alakazam, and again, I live any hit. But he's a Psyshock, which is so ridiculously bad on Alakazam. The damage output difference is substantial. And B, he gets a crit, which just end me. I obviously lived the Psyshock from there. Anyway, seeing as he's Psyshock, he doesn't actually have a chance to 2-kill me with 2 Psyshocks and the Politoad, so I just go for Scald. And now he goes Tar, which, let me tell you, if there was one way for him to make sure he lost the game, it was going Tar. Because Tar was able to still revenge kill my Latios. And the Latios essentially swept him without the Tar, because it's Scarf Latios. And like, you could obviously deduce that from the team. This went for Rocks. This obviously changed the move. This isn't Scarf. Like, it had to be Scarf Latios. So, Scarf Latios obviously beats his Life Orb Latios, obviously beats his Scarf Landorus, and should 1v1 Alakazam, because it's not Life Orb. And it can't 1v1. Best it could do is like T-Wave, and I don't think he had T-Wave on his team. So, 49% Tar can 100% handle a Scarf Latios, and he just tossed it for no reason apparent to me. This was like the only play he couldn't make that have a chance of winning this game, and he made it. So I'm just sitting pretty now, like, okay, I could just fodder whatever. You can recover, sure, as long as I don't miss a Draco. Actually, I might have Dragon Pulse on this team. I am fine. He's going to go for Hidden Power to take out. Be at 80%. If he's in range for anything from the Latios here. I'm going to click my kill with Dragon Pulse. Sure, that's fine. Now he goes Zam. I'm like, okay, as long as you're not like Thunder Wave and getting lucky. And he's Shadow Ball, and he's not even Life Orb. So yeah, as I said, Non-life orb side shock. This is so stupid. So I guess I just won from there. That's cool. I get this rain and surf up just for the sake of it. I think he like U-turn locks. Yeah, so that crit doesn't even kill me. Doesn't matter though because surf now lets me win. And that's good game because he just threw out the tar for no reason. So yeah, he got really lucky, but then threw it away to lead. So that was unfortunate for him, I guess. Game two, I didn't expect him to use a Breloom here, but he actually used a really cool Breloom team with double water. Um, which just I love the synergy of his team here. This is actually the favorite team I've seen him bring. Period. The only thing is that opposing Breloom and Keldeo seem kind of annoying, but anyway, his Breloom just tortures me in this matchup, especially if it's Protect because it's paired with Pursuit and all that. So I've got to be really particular with how I approach this and try and break holes with my Heatran plus hazards. He loses Rotom, thankfully. Give me a chance to get a Wisp off, but he wisely goes Tran. I figure he's probably going to want to switch here, but I stand and go for a Volt just because, like, no point. He actually goes for Plume, which I don't understand. If you're staying in with Heatran, at this point, why go Plume? Like, either you have, like, Toxic or you have, like, Stealth Rock, or you just switch to your Rotom and let it get the burn. Like, the only thing the Rotom needs to check is, like, Landorus, maybe, but then you have your own Landorus and Balloon. Like, what are you doing? Like, and it gets the burn, like, this kind of play makes no sense in the long term because his Heatran is really, really valuable when I have on my own Heatran and Latios. And Tar might potentially be wall, but only be hit with like weakened superpower, which also risks getting burnt. And if it's protected, like this Heatran is so important from this matchup. And he's just like, okay, you could take 60% of my health because he's faster, if not more, for a lava plume that might not burn and does under 20%. Like that is the kind of boneheaded bullshit that really irks me. From him. And I feel like he pulled that later in the last game to cost him. Anyway, this time I just go for the Earth Power. Maybe he'll stay in. He doesn't. Get Wisp off myself. He hits the 72, which is fine. I need to chip this really and often. I'm in Drain Punch range, so at this point I'm not really sure if I want to even switch out. I think I just go to Magnus trying to get the chip. And he goes for Volt Switch, so yeah, that worked out for me. I figured he wouldn't want to go for Hydro into my Rotom or Pharaoh. Now he goes Tyrant again. I'm so weak and I just want to get the Wisp. I just want to do as much damage as I can. And he's actually going to go for Rocks. I figure, okay, maybe he goes Starmie after the Protect, so I'll probably go for Earth Power after. Might not even die to Superpower depending on the damage range. Actually, no, I go... Oh, I Preserve it? Okay, I guess just as Fire Layer. That's fine. And he goes Starmie, interestingly enough. Now here's another really stupid play of him. Why would you stay and risk so much? Like... And then he Scalds, and of course he gets the burn. And at this point, I'm like checked out of this game. Like, he makes so many unnecessarily risky plays for such a favorable matchup with the Breloom and the Tran. Like, why bother? It was just kind of infuriating to play these games where, like, these guys, like, make these, like, closed-minded, like, risk plays knowing that they're not favored to win the game solely because they know that they probably can't game plan properly. When if he put his mind to it, I know he's capable. So that was just pretty stupid of him, and it worked out. And now it's just I've got to use. I'm basically down a Pokemon for nothing. Why would you stay in versus Landorus there when you've got three things to thwart Earthquake plus U-turn, and I've got a Pursuit? Like it just is stupid. I really disagree with. I mean, and the thing is that using like Starmie on these weatherless teams can be like rewarding. But not if you play it aggressively like that in most situations. That's just poor. Anyway, I got Landorus here. I know I've got to make plays. So I HP Ice here, I believe. Pretty game abilities, Landorus. Yeah, that's cool. But my Rocks aren't up. And his Starmie is still alive, so whatever. Yeah, U-turn doesn't even like kill it, and now like his U-turn comes in, which pretty much can fuck me if it's Earth Power no matter what. And he sub. I figured he might go for Earth Power sub, so I got the Spike up to try and at least like suffocate the Starmie and Breloom a bit. And now I go to my own Tran. Really go for the Fire move he does, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm faster and I can at least break the sub first. But then he switched up to Starmie, which I didn't really understand, and I went for protect because I wanted to get a little healthier and scout his set, which I don't know. I just like why did he just content letting the spike go? His play of the Starmie was really fucking stupid. Like this guy doesn't think more than one or two turns ahead in the game, and that's kind of a problem. Anyway, now he goes to Breloom, which is even stupider on a knockoff. Because like, what else am I gonna go for there? I've already got one spike up. Like, so he loses his Toxic Orb for nothing, and he's bulking up, which is fine. And I'm like, okay, well, he revealed Spore in the first game, and he didn't use this as a lead, so he's probably gonna be Spore, not Protect. So I want to go for a Surf. I think that's what I do. And he's Protect, so not only did he decide way back when to not lead with the Breloom against a Rotom W team when it has Protect, Poison Orb, Toxic Orb, but he also fucking has to protect. Like, he defies all logic and conventions of playing Black White, and that makes the assumptions of a higher level Black White player like really hard to base off of. It's kind of like playing a lower ladder player, unfortunately, and that just it kind of dug my grave there. From there, I'm like well behind because of, in my opinion, kind of stupid shit. He goes for Drain Punch instead of Facade because no Toxic Orb, which is fair. I just get the hidden power off, knowing full well that he can't really do much to me without Protect plus Poison Heal, and he's taking damage to Sandy return. At this point, I feel like he's going to switch, but instead he goes for Facade. Okay. And I go Latios. And I just, at least locking into this makes a little more sense than locking into Hidden Power Ice after they get kill. He goes Tar, and I'm fine with this trade, if only because it was inevitable at some point. And locking him in, well, not locking, but like him like being burnt in Pursuit Lock, it gets me a free Trian. And I go for Earth Power, thinking maybe he'll go Starmie again because that's stupid, but nope, he's not. At least he doesn't completely choke like he did last game. I get to protect up here, and he's in a very favorable spot. At this point, I'm just kind of grasping for straws. I go Landorus, knowing that full well I only have one or two rocks. Maybe I get him on a Volt. He goes for Hydra. Good play by him. I can't let Pharaoh come in because then all sorts of shit happens. I go Tran here. I Earth Power because like if I protect, then he is in Magma Storm range. So him going Starmie or Tran were like his actual logical plays, but he tried to throw here. He goes for Hydro, and it's just like whatever. I mean, if you just want to speed up and like win the game quicker with like taking those risks, and it's your prerogative. I just don't care enough anymore. And I don't think I'm I don't think I'm a whip on this team. So yeah, I could game him. This was one of the more infuriating losses I've suffered, honestly. Just because like he had such a favorable matchup, he tossed it away twice, and then just like I just hate these games. It's like playing a low ladder player that has like that one right set and then like risks it like flaunts it in front of your face. Like when you're like just trying to play straightforward, it's stupid. So game 3, to make it more obnoxious, uses Sunstall, and I'm just like using like very generic Tran drill sand balance. Like he has no chance of winning this game because Sun without Doug is really bad. Doug could have trapped like half my team here, but he doesn't have it because it's banned, and it's just like okay. So I get sand up off the bat. I go drill because I'm Scarf, and I'm like, okay, he's probably going to try and status me because he's not going to scout for ban because he probably knows the team. I go for Earthquake, I crit, and the game's over pretty much already. Not that he was really doing much to me unless he let like counter. I don't think he had counter. He goes Crest as I go Rotom, just mid ground, didn't want to risk like Kinbar ground. He goes Ninetales here. I go back Tran. I'm like, okay, sure. I rocks, knowing full well he probably isn't going to Zatu there. He misses, and I don't really care at this point because last game he was so fucking infuriating me already with the way he played. It's just like, I want this over with. I am running out of patience. Now he's setting up Sunny Day in the face of Scarf Tar. Doesn't want to switch in. I just go for Earth Power, sure, chip that, drop, roars me out. Into Tar, which is dope, I guess. I think I just crunched here. I should have superpowered. And he goes Drill. I think I get a drop too, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so it's chip there. It's dope. And then just Earthquake. I see he rocked with Drill, by the way. Oh yeah. And then I went Landorus on that. Earthquake misses, so he goes that too. He gets a Nightshade off, which is fine. I think I just spin here. No, Iron Head. Okay, that chip on drill is actually kind of helpful though, because now it puts it in like two crunch range, for example. And I know I'm faster than him, so I just stay in there and earthquake. But he goes crass, and Iron Head should out damage Moonlight, especially with Sand like chipping him each turn to negate leftovers. And his Ice Beam only does a quarter. Now he goes Nine Tails, which is like okay, and he gets me on the spin, which is cool, I guess. So now I just so I go Tran. No, I go Tar. I think I'm like okay, I superpower you. Then he goes Volk, and he just can't be like 5 moves with 4 million EVs and like ridiculous evasion, and I win. And I believe I just go Landorus and I Earthquake his ass, and the game ends there. And I'm just like whatever. Um, this game was poorly played by Zukuru, but he didn't really have much of a chance anyway because he used a poor team. I just don't understand why you just sent in this metagame, whatever. But people need to stop using this shit in the chat. And I'm just like, I just want to stop playing this dude, and that's that. Didn't really mean to be rude, but like, I just feel like he didn't really consider much in the mid late games of any of the games, and I just feel like you have to really be thoughtful about how to approach win conditions and kind of consequential late game play in black white in order to be consistent with the tier. So I was hoping a little more out of a semi-final match, but unfortunately I didn't really get it. But I did get lucky to get up to this point in terms of the other rounds at least, so I can't really be too upset. But yeah, it's probably the worst series of the four, but definitely were some good games overall throughout these videos. So I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, this is Finch. Say now, bye now, bye.